Hi, John Dwyer here, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, John Formica. Hi, John.
Hi, JD. How you doing today?
Not too bad at all.
Good.
I could be better. I've got a little bit of a headache.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
They want to hear good content, JD.
It's
Give them
okay.
some good information.
Right, I'll just ignore my headache. Okay. I don't have a headache. I'm making that up. I'm feeling fine because I know you care. I want to touch on a subject today which is close to your heart, I know, and that is theming. And you might think, oh, okay, well, you know, you're going to tell us how important theming is for Disney, and we sort of know that. No. Theming is important for you, for everyone, okay? Theming. Please start to think about how you can theme your business. And the best way to give you a stark reality of how theming can make a stunning difference to your turnover is an example of a client of mine in Australia who happens to own a candy store, and it's called the International House of Candy. And I'm going to bring up on the screen right now what his retail store looked like. And you'll be seeing it on your screen. Inside the store, it was fabulous. It was almost Disneyland. He had aisles and lines and lines and lines, of candy from around the world. He is known as the House of International Candy. So he brings in candy to Australia from Europe and from America and from Canada and from New Zealand, all sorts of places. And it is just an incredible store once you get inside. But would you agree with me that the outside of this store looks awful? It is so underwhelming, it's not funny. And so therefore he came on to our program, If Disney Ran Your Business, What Would It Look Like? And guess what we did? We introduced him. I sketched up a layout of how the front of his store should look like. I gave it to our preferred graphic art studio, and I'm going to now show you what it looks like. Have a look at the transformation. It is dramatic, it is sensational, it is over the top, and that's what it looks like of a daytime. And let's have a look at the before and after transformation. Have a look at what it looked like before and what it looks like now, and let's have a look at what it looks like at nighttime. And as I'm sure you agree with me, that's absolutely stunning. It's a stunning makeover. And the owner of that business, it's a multi-million-dollar business, by the way, and he's a great business owner, because when John and he's actually flown to America to have lunch with John. So I think that's a compliment of the highest degree. He's an entrepreneur, isn't he? He's just an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And he loves theming, and he understands now the difference it makes, because guess what? The facade of that candy store, he paid back the investment for that in the following week. So he made more money the following week when he put that up and paid off the investment in 1 week. He's a multi-million-dollar business, by the way, and he thinks that this will increase his business by 50% in the next year. And that's just creating a theme, a facade that's going to blow people away as they try and walk past his candy store. They used to be able to walk past, now they can't. They've got to turn into it. And John, theming is close to your heart, of course, coming from the Disney background. It's all about theming, isn't it?
Absolutely, and from the people that work there, they're themed in a costume of some sort. The walls are decorated. The sound, the music, all those things are part of that theming. And what I love about Darren's store is that when you go inside, it's the theming continues. So it's just you become. It's like an amusement park, and it's a candy store. Well, that's what you want it to be. That's what candy's about. Candy's about fun and fantasy and
in the store, he has the old-fashioned Coca-Cola bottles, and he has all of the old-fashioned candy. He has the big Wonka chocolate bar. I mean, it's really well done on the inside, but the outside was letting him down.
That's right. And the neat thing about it is be different. That's what the theming is. You can now be whatever theme you want it to be, but you can now create where people will talk about the candy shop because now it looks like a candy shop or whatever it might be. So that theming creates that brand awareness, that stickiness, that attraction, and I think it makes it fun.
John, I want to show another sample, and this happens to be a crepe store, again in Australia. And this particular crepe, if you can envisage a cone, so the crepe is created like an ice cream cone, and then the ingredients, whether it be gourmet or whether it be sweet, like ice cream or gelato or strawberries, what have you, go inside the cone. Now, this is what the outside of his store looked like, and I said to him, "Are you sure that you are a gelato crepe as in pancakes shop?" or are you an accountancy practice? You look pretty boring from the outside. And he said, no, we're a crepe shop, but we're not doing too well. I said, no, I can understand why. I said, show me the inside of your store. And so he gave me the graphic that you're watching on your screen right now, and you can see the menu. I said to him, was that inspired by maybe the timetable at a central railway station, because it doesn't look like a menu? And he said, can you help me? Well, what we did is this. Within a few minutes, I sketched up what his menu board should have looked like. I give it to my art studio, and then in 48 hours, you'll see the massive transformation. That's what his menu looks like now in store. And then if you look at the before and after, of course, it's a stunning makeover. And then if you look at the outside of the store, we've also, performed a makeover there. So the point I make is that, once again, that guy was going south. He was not doing too well in his business, and now he's opening up his fourth, I think it is, because he understood the power of theming. Once you actually get that theme right, if you get that right, then you've got yourself a template that can be scalable.
I'm hungry just looking at that picture right there. I'm ready to eat. And the first one, it was okay. I wasn't hungry, but that second one, I got hungry pretty quickly, and that's all part of that theming of. I can picture the atmosphere, and again, if you think about it, if Disney would run it, if Disney was going to put that kind of a crepe shop on Main Street, it wouldn't look boring. And Disney does it for a reason, and because it will attract people to go inside. And
John, you would know that being involved in the resorts with Disney World for so long is that their hotels are all themed.
That's right.
So whether it's a Gone with the Wind, I forget the name of that one with the big staircase. What's that one?
Grand Floridian.
The Grand Floridian, or the Caribbean one, or
the beach, the Wilderness Lodge, Port Orleans, which is feel like you're in New Orleans. Everything is a theme because you don't get that at the Holiday Inn and the Marriotts and the Hyatt hotels. They're great hotels, but people want more than just white sheets and pillows and beds and restaurants. They want it to be themed. And again, Disney sells that fantasy, and that's what JD's talking about from a standpoint of your story.
John, I'm going to bring up one that you've seen, and this is a transformation of a restaurant menu. When this particular restaurant owner came into our environment, I asked him, could I have a look at his menus? And this is what his menu used to look like. Lovely, lovely, lovely restaurant. We're talking a reasonably upmarket restaurant, but this is what his menu looked like, which looked like it was put together by a school committee. There was nothing particularly attractive about it, so therefore this is what we did with that menu. We're talking about these changes happening within the space of a week, and you'll see there that there are now graphics of the incredible meals that he's offering, so therefore you'll see there's a breakfast one, there's a lunch one, and a dinner one, and these particular menus changed his entire fortunes, bang, immediately, because what happened is at the moment that he put photographs of his desserts or photographs of his breakfast, we were a little, sort of strategic about it. The photographs were of the meal items where he made the most profit. And so therefore we weren't silly. We made sure that we, put graphics on there of the meals where he's making the most money. Essentially without doing any other marketing. We're not talking about Facebook. He did nothing else at all. He just distributed the new menus. His trade went up 38% in the first month. And that's a lot of money with the turnover that this guy was doing. So 38% in 1 month just by improving the menus by, guess what? Theming them. Theming them. So I guess really if I could just suggest to you as a business owner, sit back and think how you could possibly theme your business. And I'm not talking about turning it into pirate themes or turning it into, adventure themes or, I'm talking about just even theming from a point of view of, restaurants and cafes are a good example, and you see time and time again there are restaurants that you could double their trade if they just sat back and themed the restaurant. It might be old world fashion, it might be a country town fashion, it might be, look at Las Vegas, John. At Las Vegas, is that not the absolute epitome of making money out of theming?
Absolutely. And think about it, it's just, when you're everything can be themed to be the right color scheme, or versus the non-color, the wrong color scheme could be a theming. So again, it doesn't have to be all this bells and whistles, but you have to think about it. Am I a coffee shop? Am I a dentist office? Does it look like it's a cold dentist office, or is it Is it fun? Cheery looking, those sort of things. All that is part of that theming.
I guess you could link theming with branding, because you may be watching this thinking, well, we're talking about branding. Yeah, we're sort of talking about branding. And in John and my instance, we're wanting to deliver pretty valuable marketing and sales advice and customer experience advice to business owners. So we're not sitting here in a polo t-shirt and a pair of shorts. We're sitting here dressed in a sports jacket because we want to give the appropriate theme. People are paying us money to provide them with information and with advice and with ideas, so we want to make sure that we look the right part. Generally speaking, if we're having business meetings, we will be dressed in a business coat. Most of the time I may have a tie on. It just depends on what the circumstances are. You have to think about that for your business. What brand are you communicating to your target audience? So if you are asking, is theming associated with branding? Yes, it is. If you happen to be an entertainment come leisure business, then of course you can take theming as far as Disney does. But it may well be that if you are an accountancy practice and you are specialising on providing bookkeeping and tax minimisation advice to the blue singlet industries, tradesmen, then you might have a theme for your accountancy practice that suits them. If you're providing your accountancy practice advice to high-end clients who are white-collar workers, then you might have teak wood all around the building, and it may very well look like the most spectacular boardroom that anyone's ever entered. It's all about, again, that message to market match. You want the theme or the brand to actually be relevant to your business and to your target audience. So, John, thank you for that, mate. And can I just ask, this here, okay, which is a very, very bright tie.
Love it. My favorite tie.
In Disney's instance, they have a number of, many different themes based on their characters. So you've got your Beauty and the Beast, and you've got your Lion King, and this, that, and the other. Were you ever fortunate enough to deal with the licensing department? Because that's what we call a licensed product. And I was fortunate in Australia to deal with Disney in Burbank and take out a number of licenses. And what they did is that they would have merchandise like what John's wearing, branded or themed appropriately to where they were being sold. So for argument's sake, if John's tie was a $60 or $70 tie, that would be themed appropriately for Macy's, okay? But if they had a $20 tie, then that would be appropriately themed for Kmart or Walmart. So they broke up their branding for various licensed characters like Lion King, or with Mickey or Minnie or Goofy or Pluto, or it might be the Little Mermaid or whatever, but they broke up their theme and their branding according to who the retailer was. Were you ever lucky enough to spend time with the licensing people?
Not just from the hotel standpoint of everything, even in their gift shops and everything else, but you're absolutely right. Obviously, in the Grand Floridian, when I managed that hotel, the merchandise in that are higher end, because you're like at a Victoria's Secret, you're at a Ralph Lauren type of a clientele. The other hotels would be a little bit more
folksy,
family oriented.
Okay, gotcha.
Each one is good, but again, you want to get, it could be the same thing, but if you can theme it, you might make more money out of it.
Well, the Mickey's, I'm not being silly here, but the Mickey Mouse, statues or dolls, whatever it might be, in the upmarket hotel, may be Mickey in a dinner jacket, or it may be, if it happens to be a paperweight for your desk, it will be gold. Okay. Well, listen, we'll leave it at that, but hopefully you've got some benefit out of this, whereby you can go back to your business and think, okay, how can I theme, how can I brand my business to actually attract the right customer who's going to pay the right money for what I'm selling? Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.